If I could go back in a time machine and tell myself, go get this one skill, it would be to raise capital. Last year, we raised $50 million for a multifamily fund. This year, we'll raise $100 million. You guys think you watch me on YouTube. You know what you're really watching? Is a clone that I made. I don't look at a camera as a camera. I look at a camera as a clone creator. This was the most important lesson I could have ever learned in my life. We walk out and Bethany says, I want to tell you that this was the most important real estate transaction you'll ever do in your life. And I'm like, why? And she says, because you found the bunnies. These are the strategies that I use on a daily basis today. Let's call a seller to tie this up.
Let's do it.
You want to call a seller?
Hello?
Hi, is Andrea there?
This is she.
Hi, Andrea. My name's Pace. How you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pace Morby!
Let's go. Yo. Thank you, Pat. You know what's cool is I just lived a childhood dream the other day. I had Big Boy from Outkast at my mastermind. We went to dinner together. We own an apartment building together now. Woo! How crazy is that? It's the weirdest thing when you get to live your dreams. And for the longest time, I was a contractor, lived my life working my guts out. My parents taught me how to work really, really hard. I think the number one thing that my parents taught me how to do is trade my time for what? Money. So today what I want to do is I want to do something a little bit different. Last year I spoke on 71 stages. Today we're going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to talk for maybe 20, 30 minutes max, and then I want to do some Q&A. I think Diane, where's Diane? We got a seller to call today, right? Trying to negotiate a Subto deal across the street, house for you and your family. Love to make that call for you if you'd let me. You guys want to do something like that today? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's the cool part about being part of like a smaller inner circle, which I love the name. I love that name because it like gives me a feeling of connection. So thank you for that. This room is amazing.
It is awesome.
Have you guys been buzzing all day?
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm excited to be here?
Yeah.
For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Pace Morby. I'm known as the Subto guy. And I buy a lot of creative finance deals and got a good brand, I think. I think we've done a good job on that. So the last 30 minutes of today, what I want to do is if you guys have questions about branding, you guys have questions about creative finance, you guys have a deal you want me to look at, Jamil and I actually bought a sixplex today at lunch in the hallway, subject to. Did we not deal? We literally just did that. That's being part of the inner circle. I freaking appreciate it. You guys just made me some freaking money. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Give it up for them. Damn. Again, what do you got to ask? Anytime you're with people, this is a networking problem because what happens is we're at a weird place now where we go and we hang out with people, and I didn't really realize this until about a year ago, but people will come up and ask us questions and ask us questions the whole time they actually have their phone in their hand ready to just take a photo. And I'm like, oh, you actually did not care about talking to me at all. You just wanted to take a photo with this billboard thing that's basically all I've become is a cardboard cutout. And that's okay. That's part of branding, right? So if you guys have questions about branding or structuring your business or hiring employees or how to win your wife after she walks out on you, bro, so proud of you, dog. I'm so proud of you. And before I start, I want to tell you guys something. For those of you guys that don't, you guys think I started. I have not started. Sorry. So check this out. This morning, I'm like very much into DMing people. If you guys ever have a question, I'll give you a 1-minute answer. Anybody ever DM me in here and get an answer from me? Wow, nobody's DMing me in here. It's great. This morning, I was walking down the road, just kind of getting my day started, feeling the vibe of New Orleans, and I had 2 people in my DMs complaining about their life, right? Like, oh man, I've been trying. I post in the Facebook group. I have a free Facebook group. And I posted in the Facebook group and nobody wants to help me. That was one of them. And I was like, man, where do you even start with that, right? Like you tried it one time. So check this out. I'm walking down, and as I'm walking down the street, I turn a corner as I'm voice memoing somebody that's complaining about their life, and I bump into a daughter and a mother this morning. Okay, so here's what I wrote on my stories. I said, as I walk through New Orleans this morning, getting ready for my day, I have 2 people in my DMs that I'm trying to encourage and help with their problems for the day. Both people finding things to complain about, both people saying that they've tried for months to find success and they are discouraged. And as I walk around the corner, I bump into a mother and a daughter. It's obvious that the mother is being led by the hand by her daughter. The mother is noticeably blind. She's even got a walking stick. I apologize for bumping into them, and the blind mother says, no worries, sir. I can feel the warm sun on my face. It's going to be a good day. That's what she says. This literally happened 3 hours ago. No worries, sir. I can feel the sun on my face. It's going to be a great day. Just short and sweet. And I was like, wow, it's so good. And this is what I write. I said, so I smile, which she can't even see. So I give my smile to her daughter, and she says to her mom, "He's smiling, Mom." And the mom says, "I know, sweetheart, I can feel that too." Literally made my day. So I go back to helping people in my DMs realize that these people lack gratitude and perspective. They find reasons to complain. I realize that these people are the blind one. The woman I bumped into found reasons to be grateful, even without functioning eyeballs. She lacks nothing. Her sight is clear. Her heart is full, and so is mine. Thank you, blind woman, thank you. So I had a great morning this morning. I came in here energized, and then this room amplified me. And I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving a care in the world for what I had to say. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. Thank you guys for taking care of Jamil and I. It really means the world to us. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And Kyle, thank you, bro. I'm on fire. I want to go take over the whole entire world. Whew. Good perspective? All right. All right, I'm done. All right, so here's my journey. We'll be quick because I actually want to get to know you guys. I made money in the hallway. I want to make money in this room. I want to help Diane call her seller. That's way more important to me than anything I have to say. It's obvious that creative finance can change your life. We don't need to go into why. Creative finance is just my passion. I'll tell you a little bit why it is, and we'll get into some Q&A. I always remind people that the most important things on the planet to obtain in real estate is actually not creative finance. It's funny enough. It's two things, two merit badges that you want in real estate very, very quickly. What do you think they are? Number one, finding a deal. Being able to find a deal, identifying a deal, where do deals come from is the most important thing. Second most important thing, if I could go back in a time machine and get one merit badge faster than any other merit badge I've got a lot of merit badges in real estate. Multifamily owner, hundreds of employees, millions and millions of dollars of cash flow, all these cool accolades. But the number one most important thing that I had to learn was how to raise capital. I cannot overstate how powerful that skill is and that merit badge. If I could go back in a time machine and tell myself for 1 second, go get this one skill, it would be to raise capital, because the person who controls the flow of the money makes all the rules, right? Anybody ever have a deal in here and you're stuck because you don't have the capital for it? A lot of people. And if I came to you and I had the capital, I didn't find the deal, I'm not going to operate the deal with you, and I just came to you and I had the money, would you let me come in as a partner? Makes sense, right? So raising capital is everything that you need in real estate. So if you guys have questions today about raising capital, how I raise capital, last year we raised $50 million for a multifamily fund. This year we'll raise $100 million. If you guys have questions about how I started and how I raised my first 100 grand, love to tell you that story. Whatever you need, I'd love to do some Q&A. Something to remember. One of the most important things I could ever impart on you is you will never make money without another human being involved. Has anybody ever in here ever made money without another human being involved? Ever once. Jamil, every time I ask this, Jamil goes through his mind and he starts thinking, I gotta stump this guy. It's really interesting. So the amplification of income requires the amplification of quality human beings around you. And what I appreciate what you guys did is you guys put a filtered room together. Because if I just walk to the Super Bowl, let's say I walk into the Cardinals Stadium and I go, man, I want to do business with these people. What's my filtering process to know who are these people? That they are on the same wavelength, they want to learn the same thing as me, they want to do the same thing as me, and they're trustworthy. What is my filtering process for that room? I call it the Costco effect. We've all been to Walmart and we've all been to Costco. Is there a noticeable difference between the two? I go to Walmart. Walmart is hella cool. I like Walmart. Okay, it's great. I can go there any time of the day. I can wear whatever I want to wear. Right? But then I go to Costco, and what are the cool things about Costco? What's the different experience? Snacks. Okay, snacks, right? The snacks are higher quality. What else are higher quality at Costco?
The buyers, people.
The people. The experience, right? The whole entire process is a better thing. The products, everything about Costco is a higher quality experience. In fact, it's actually less expensive to shop at Costco than it is to shop at Walmart, which is ironic. Why is that? What is the biggest difference? What creates that environment? Is a filter. It's a $99 a year filter. It's that these low budget people, the free people that don't want to believe in themselves, don't want to invest in their future, they can't even bring themselves to pay $99 to go to Costco. It's interesting. And so I just want to share my gratitude for people that filter these rooms to the point where the energy is different. And you can tell, we've spoken on a lot of stages. When you speak on a stage where the room was not filtered properly, the energy is different. And people aren't making money together in that room. And so I'm very grateful. Jamil and I have traveled around the country for the last several years, and we've been in a lot of rooms. And you guys, today, I can honestly say that you are top 3 best rooms I've ever been in. Congrats. Really cool. All right, so you'll never make money without another human being, which is cool. If you guys want to learn more about what I do, I got a YouTube channel that gets 5 million views a month. We are crushing it there, doing a great job. I have an amazing team. Just paste Morby on YouTube. Check this out. By the way, I'm not even talking about creative finance. I just want you guys, everybody write this down. For you non-social media knuckleheads, you guys think you watch me on YouTube. You guys think you watch me on Instagram. You think you watch me on Facebook. You know what you're really watching is a clone that I made. I don't look at a camera as a camera. I look at a camera as a clone creator. It creates a clone of me that will continue to work on my behalf for the rest of my life. So when I make a YouTube video or I do a Facebook post or I do whatever, that clone is obtaining new employees, new private money lenders, opportunities to do more business. So when people say, how do you accomplish so much? How do you make so much money? I'm like, because I have an army of myself. I have 1,400 YouTube videos that are out there working right now. If you go into my YouTube and you do the analytics, the average YouTube video I have on my channel is doing 200 views every single hour. Where am I right now? I'm in this room with you. But guess what I'm also doing simultaneously? I'm creating a clone of myself. Duplicate yourself. And when you're doing social media is not about, look at my cool Bugatti. That's not what it's about. And I think there's a thing where there's a barricade in people's mind of like, well, if I go out there, then people are going to think that I know more than everybody in here, right? You're worried about like what people think about it in social media. Judgment, right? This is my process for posting on social media. I imagine every video that I make is my opportunity to step into a time machine and deliver a 5-minute message to myself. That's it. If this was going to help me 10 years ago, it's definitely going to help somebody else. By the way, your son DM'd me on Instagram last night. Did he tell you what I told him?
Not yet. We haven't talked to him.
So I met these guys last night. Amazing. And I told you I'll sponsor your son's, is it? Fishing rod, his fishing rod business. So he says, my mom and dad said that you'll sponsor my business. I said, not until you have a YouTube channel. Everybody in here should have a YouTube channel. It helps you journal your process, and it helps you also. All you're doing, you're not talking to anybody else but a previous version of yourself. For people that are brand new, you're just trying to make a message to yesterday you. Here's what I learned today. That is literally it. So when people go, what's the secret to crushing it on social media? And it is talking to a previous version of myself. That is it. I'm not talking to Sarah or Tammy or anybody else. I'm literally sharing a message with an earlier version of myself. Has anybody ever in here made money because of content I've created? Okay. You guys bought your house on seller finance in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, and you didn't raise your hand. But what's cool is creating clones. So when you guys are going out there building your business, you need to create clones. That's all you're doing is you're creating a clone of yourself. So anybody in here feel like you're literally like everything in your business is like all the responsibilities on your shoulders? Just create a virtual version of yourself and start putting those responsibilities. Top 3 things to get from social media. I'll give those to you. I know I should be telling you guys about creative finance. I'm just so obsessed with this topic. 3 things that you should be getting from social media. Number 1, recruiting opportunities. We're going to do a deal together, right?
That's right.
How did you know about me? Today was my first time meeting you, or did you meet one of my clones in the past?
The clones.
You met some of my clones, right?
Yeah.
And then you met some of my clones, so you wanted to come up to me because you already knew, like, and trusted me, right?
That's right.
And we're going to make money together.
That's it.
Okay, cool. So recruiting opportunities is number 1, okay? Second thing is recruiting employees. You guys heard what I asked Kyle earlier. I'm going to tell you right now, whether it's business, real estate, etc., the hardest part of everything I've ever done has been recruiting good quality people. The hardest thing you will ever do. In fact, one of the hardest things that you guys have of overcoming your challenges in your business are that you are such a solopreneur because you're afraid of hiring somebody and afraid of having the responsibility of another human being. And the worst one is, I'll tell you, for me, one time I hired a guy from Chicago and he moved his whole family from Chicago to Utah just to find out that he didn't tell us certain things about his past, and we had to let him go, and I got into a lawsuit because he claimed I'd forced him to move across the country for a job. That's stressful. Those things are stressful. Hiring human beings and having a payroll, does that stress anybody in this room? Okay. What's not stressful is that when your social media and your presence brings high quality people to you that you don't even have to find them. People ask me all the time, Pace, I didn't know who you were 5 years ago. It's like, yeah, because I didn't have enough clones. And also I didn't have a big enough team to build how am I here today making money is because I have an amazing team. How does my team know who I am is because of my clones. Raising capital. People will come to me. So like Matt Faircloth wrote a really great book called How to Raise Private Capital. Amazing book. But you know what? It's absolutely worthless for people that don't have social media. You guys are going to go out there and you're like, anybody in here anticipate owning $100 million worth of real estate at some point in the future? You will never do it without social media because you're competing against people that have social media. And how do people vet you nowadays? 100% through social media. Who's this guy? What's he about? Does he have a family? What are his values? You can tell these things very, very quickly. So when you're out there just sharing a message about what you learned today or what you're doing, people get to know you and you'll be able to raise capital. So raising capital is, I'd say 85%, 90%, it comes from social media. Who knows Brandon Turner in here from Bigger Pockets? Okay, so I'll give you a little, I'm a little bit more of a technician. I'm sorry, this does not apply to you yet, but I'm going to make sure that you understand that this happens. So at some point, somebody like a Brandon Turner has a really strong brand, and you run out of the ability to raise capital from your immediate audience because you're raising so much money. That is a thing that you will run into. I hope you run into that. I hope you run out of the ability to raise capital from the people in your phone because you've done such a damn good job squeezing the money out, putting into the deals and having them partner with you. I hope you run into that problem. Brandon Turner ran into that problem. So what does he have to do? Well, welcome to Facebook ads and welcome to YouTube ads and Instagram ads. This is now where you start running cold traffic. You spend money. Anybody ever see Brandon Turner on Instagram or Facebook talking about his fund? That's a paid ad. What's great is that you recognize him. Okay, so there's this magical term, it's called ROAS. Write it down. ROAS is return on ad spend. Okay, so if I go put $10,000 out there to tell everybody in social media land that I have a fund and I want them to invest in my fund, which is perfectly legal, okay, you can do that. You guys see Grant Cardone doing this all the time. How much money did Grant Cardone raise in private capital last year on social media?
Over $1 billion.
Yeah, right now they're at like $950 million. Brandon Turner goes out and he spends $10,000 and he raises 400 grand. I'm sorry, he raises $14 million for a $10,000 ad spend. Is that worth it? Okay, somebody else in this room with an unrecognizable face, you're gonna spend $10,000 and you will literally get $0 back in return. It is not the ability to place an ad, it's the ability that your audience already recognizes who you are that amplifies your ROAS, or your return on ad spend. So my goal is to have so many clones out there that people go, I might not exactly know who you are, but I've seen you enough times that I have the frequency effect in my brain, okay? It is very important. When you guys get to a point where I need to raise $20 million, you won't do it without a brand. Return on ad spend. So when you're pushing out social media today, I promise you it will show up for you in 3 to 5 to 10 years. Check this out, I just sold this truck. Kelley Blue Book value of this truck is 20 grand. I just sold this truck for $47,000 on seller finance. That is the beautiful thing about creative finance. Now, did I just do the creative finance, or did I also document and create a clone so that other people can also learn how to do it as well? Put it on my YouTube channel, right? Those types of things. So find valuable content. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about this. Here's my journey. I'm LDS, Mormon, grew up in a household of 12 kids. My parents wake me up at 4:30 in the morning. Bible study every single morning. Community was super important to me. Still is very, very important to me. Mormons, what do we do at 19 years old? We go on our bikes. That's freaking hilarious, dude. It's like you guys are cruising down the street and you're like, look at those nerds right there. I was one of those dudes, but I went to Korea. I was very, very blessed to go to Korea. I'm so dumb. I'm not as articulate as other people. I'm just a freaking worker bee, dude. That's all I am. And I get my mission call from my church, and the mission call, I open it up, and like in the Mormon religion, all your family and all your friends congregate and they get together in your living room. They're like, oh my gosh, Pace got his mission call. And I open this up. I'm 18 and a half years old. I open it up and I read, I'm going to Seoul, Korea. And everybody's like, yeah, this is amazing. I was like, cool, that's in Brazil, right? I legit thought Korea. I didn't even recognize it wasn't in Brazil. That's what I really thought. That's how stupid I am. So I go to Korea, I knock 10,000 doors. How many people did I baptize? Because that's my business as a missionary, right? My billboard or my marketing is what? Knocking doors. That's how I'm going to get my leads. How many people do you think I baptized in a 2-year time frame from knocking doors? How many?
Not many.
200.
20.
200.
200? Damn, you believe in me. How many? 5? Wow. 0. The answer is 0. The answer is 0. Why did I continue to knock the doors? It's because that's what everybody was telling us to do. And there's so many people out there telling you what to do that nobody's really sitting down and getting creative with who you are and what skills you bring to the table. So what I did, in Korea, like nobody lives in an individual house. If you live in an individual house, you are freaking like a billionaire. Everybody lives in a high-rise stacked like 50, 60 layer apartment building, okay? So what you do is you go in, you go to the very top, and you work your way down all day long. And I just look at this, and I'm like maybe a year and 2 months into my mission, and I was finding no joy from this. And I was like, I gotta find joy, I gotta find happiness from what we're doing. And so what I did is I decided to get creative, and I stopped and I thought, I'm gonna give something to people as I'm asking for them for something, right? Because what I'm really asking is knock, 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 knock. Do you wanna hear about Jesus? Hell no. Like how many hell no's do you think I got in Korean? A lot.
How do you say hell no in Korean?
They don't have a word, they just say annyeong, which means F off, basically. Okay, so what happens is one day I go, what does every Korean want? Koreans want to come to America. They want to learn how to speak English. So what I did is I created one of these little poster things in the bottom of the apartment complex where everybody had to walk out of. And it was like, we'll teach you 30 minutes of English if you will listen to 30 minutes about Jesus. This was like my creative way of getting people to listen to me. So I, of course, had like the little flaps with the phone numbers, and I like tore off 2 or 3 of them to make it look like I already had customers. Right? Mormons lie too. Okay, so what happens is I started getting a lot of phone calls, and I ended up, the last portion of my mission, I ended up baptizing 81 people from giving them something what they wanted before I asked for something in return.